Benard and Richard, we're talking about the best architectural student of the year. The students, as you always say, are our future, but they also could be the ones who can put you out of a job come, half a generation's time.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a tough question. I mean, we like to work with talented people, and they're always available. I mean, we work with them, we like to have them, hopefully, one day working for us, right? That is our hope. Because we really want to give the opportunities to, the student that basically give perhaps inspiration to the generation to come.
So let's talk about some of the people and some of the projects that you saw. Where were they from? What did you see? Did anything stand out? Did anything speak to you, or did anything fall flat? Richard?
I think this year, one of the trends I noticed was there was a lot more emphasis on sustainability. Mm-hmm. And which is good, but on the other hand, I think sustainability on its own, without good design, is lacking. I mean, architecture is about many things. It's a many-faceted diamond. So it's a balance. And even though there were some projects which we felt were actually very, very sustainably friendly, we were still, I think, seduced by a project that had a higher design.
Right. Perhaps it's architectural language that some project has over the other. Because I think, sustainability is one of the things that these days we really care about, because, our world is depending on it. But, we would rather to look at projects that has a vision in design, which will carry the day.
I think both of you just sparked something up, because I spoke to John Pauline about exactly the same thing. He was talking about the projects and some of the entries that he looked at, and there was an emphasis, of course, on green, on sustainability, on environmentally friendly, and we all love to see that. That's part of our future, and that's part of our now. But I asked him also, are we moving so far in one direction that you're actually losing what needs to be great-looking design?
And I think that's very true. There can be an overemphasis, and what we're really after is a balance.
True.
Is there a danger that we're going to get to a stage where it all becomes a bit of a cliche?
No, I don't think so, because as we know more about it, the students get into it, they understand that this is basically one of the components. There are many components of a building, and if we want to put the emphasis in one component, they're wrong. It's an overall image of architecture, what a building should be, what a city should look like, perhaps. So this is only one component of it. But to give some priorities, perhaps, to one component is important. At least, they are not trying to put the technology behind them and just make beautiful things out of nothing, out of thin air, perhaps. So I think there's a balance of each.
I don't want you to think about this too much, but if you just gave a quick mental glance back to the entries, what are some of the key words that spring to mind? Richard, you go first.
Yellow.
Yellow? Okay. Benard?
Green.
Green. Okay, well, literally, right? What about, if we oversimplify this, we don't want to say good or bad, but anything in between? Quality. Let's look at the quality.
In terms of quality, I think I hope that there will be more diversity, in the future to come, because we look at lots of entries. There are about 15 entries, right, more or less, and there are different school of thoughts. Some of them believe in form, some of them believe in sustainable design or something a little bit more trendy. So perhaps there's something in between, try to pull things together that makes architecture more encompassing as an art, as a science.
Yeah, no, and diversity is good.
Absolutely. I mean, we live in a very diverse world, and especially, Hong Kong is sort of like a condensed version of all that. Was there anybody that you saw that you thought, A, inspired you? And the second question, was there anybody that you saw who you thought, I'd like to work with this person?
I think we do. We see a few students. They demonstrate, number one, coherence in thinking, also great presentation skill, and their project actually are well thought out, what we call analytical and quite nicely executed in terms of the presentation way. So there are a few candidates that we think they will become a good architect. Nonetheless, but whether we have a chance to work with them, is open.
Foster and Partners is one of the huge names. I mean, there's so many brilliant design teams, whether they be very niche or huge firms like your own, that do really the mega projects whilst also not becoming so mega that it loses what good design is all about. Honestly, I'm just wanting to know, is there anybody who, if they walked in with that folder and put it on your desk and came in for an interview, are they going to be in with a job?
Oh yes. No, I mean, being slightly mercenary, it's always nice to do the student awards because we can always pick up some young talent, which we like to do. I'm sure.
I agree with you, yes.
So fantastic. So let's look now to the future. I mean, we're all impacted by our space. That's another thing that an architect and an artist is all about. So right now, one of the big things in our world today is, of course, conflict, and especially its our environment, or our awareness of it, and particularly something that you can't miss, especially if you're in Hong Kong, really, is the global financial crisis. So come 12 months and you're invited to do this awards again in 12 months' time, how do you predict that that impact is going to take shape in the designs, and if anything?
Well, I guess in the academia, the force, the economical force, will actually do good to the student because they can then focus on their project as opposed to trying to land themselves a good job after they graduate, because the economy is, it's different from 2 years ago. So I think it actually helps the student to focus when they are trying to complete their discourse, their studies. I think it's a good thing for the academia.
Richard, any closing thoughts?
Well, in terms of economics, as a designer, I always want more time. And if
yeah.
the world financial situation means we have more time for designing, great, better design.
And can I dare say, maybe lower budgets forces more creativity? More think out of the box, finding out what you can do within that?
One of the things we're telling our clients at the moment is that the construction cost index is going down, so now is the time to build.
Yes, it's true. And build quick.
And Bill
Before it
Quick,
goes back again.
Bill Quick, you're going to come to mainland China for that. Benard, Chang, and Richard Hawkins, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, James.